Brought to you by 714 Tickets in Anaheim, your trusted source for Angels tickets at unbeatable prices with no hidden fees. Whether it's home or away, they've got your seat covered. Visit them at 2424 East Catella Avenue, Anaheim, or online at 714tickets.com. Mention HITI and get 10% off your purchase. And Brewheim, Anaheim's premier craft brewery, pouring fresh, locally brewed beers in a welcoming atmosphere for Angels fans and beer lovers alike. Stop by their tap room at 1931 East Wright Circle, Anaheim, or check them out at brewheim.com. Mention HITI and get 10% off your tab. The OC Dugout, your one-stop shop for officially licensed Angels memorabilia, custom jersey framing, and exclusive autograph signings with your favorite players. Visit them at 1928 East Center Street, Anaheim, or online at theocdugout.com. Support the businesses that support Halos in the infield.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 8th episode of Around the League here with me, James. Please like, follow, subscribe to here on Halos in the Infield or HITI Network here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, I think TikTok as well. I'm not on there. And on X too. Fernando does a great job on X. And there's always the questions of the day that are really, really good as well. Just a lot of good things going on here on HITI. Gotta give the sponsors a shout out, of course, to Underdog Fantasy. Of course, Todd has that commercial. You know what? I might as well just play it, right? Yeah, let's just play it.
Hey, Todd, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at the Underdog app sponsored by Halos in the Infield. Actually, you can punch in HITI and get the promo code 20% earnings on your first bet via Underdog, the app. And also, they match 50% up to $1,000 winnings if you place bets. You could put them on players. You could put it on teams. It's a nightly thing. It's so easy to play, but also gamble responsibly. All because of Halos in the Infield and Underdog, the app.
Be sure to gamble responsibly, but not on the Angels. 714 Tickets, put in the code HITI for 10% off of your purchase. You got to make it an account with them. Still have mine. I'm going to get mine tickets soon when the Halos come to San Diego in a couple of weeks. And then you get 5% off the other purchases, and you just stack up the savings. I know Fernando, he mentioned in those Ranger games that he went to that he bought them from 714 Tickets, and he had a good balance. It was either $50 or $80, and it was just a lot to buy tickets from. So build up. Now, that's not only for sports games, but wrestling events. I think Fernando went to one. I don't know. Concerts. Always summertime concerts happening. Coachella, Stagecoach happened. I doubt any of those people bought them from 714 Tickets. I heard people were spending like their life savings on it. But whatever. I think Rob was at Stagecoach now that I think about it. But theater tickets, almost anything you could think of is on 714 Tickets. When football season comes around, which feels like tomorrow for the Angel fans here, it's all there, though, at 714 Tickets. And also shout out to OC Dugout for player signings and memorabilia, signings of, favorite players from the past and present. Todd just did an interview with JT Snow while at OC Dugout, I believe, and that's on the YouTube page. JT, of course, was there for the Giants and the Angels series because he played for both. Traded from the Angels to the Giants, played him in 2002. Also got to mention Brewheim, which you saw in the video, first video. Mention HITI for drink specials. Really, really nice and quaint place. Really nice place. Got to give a shout out to the folks that came out for the tailgate. What was that, a couple of Saturdays ago? It was really, really nice time. Met some people. I got to give a shout out to Vince. And you can see him, of course, on the HITI Halo Hot Take Hoedown. Try to get all that in one. The shirt still smells new, of course, but here's his shirt. It's got the Halo lasso with the cowboy hat and the baseball. Of course, this is mine. You can tell by the size, but yeah, I'm definitely going to be wearing this, so shout out to Vince, the Angels cowboy. Does a great job with Fernando as well, with that Halo Hot Take, HITI Halo Hot Take Hoedown show, where they give the tremendous opinions and the hot takes that'll make you sweat. Okay, also, I don't know if this is still in the HITI store, but someone also gave me one of these Sell the Team Artie shirts. Be sure you can wear these, hide them before you go into the games, and then reveal them at the game. I'm going to wear this probably in San Diego, one of those 3 games. I don't think I'll be crucified by the Petco Park security, but we'll see. I'll probably hide it as well just in case. And it would be a good talking point for the rest of the Angel fans I see at the game. So shout out to the couple of people who gave me some shirts, and sounds weird, but it was a really good time. Had the 15% beer. I think I had 3 of them, and felt good. It was a good dark beer. I really like that. Plenty of choices there at Brewheim. Please go check that out at the location in the advertisement. So let's get to the MLB news that has been going around. I think have to start off on a really, really, I guess, somber note. About 5 days ago, longtime baseball operations executive Walt Jocketty passed away. He was the general manager for the St. Louis Cardinals for 13 seasons, alongside Hall of Famer manager Tony La Russa. His teams made 7 postseason appearances, won 2 National League pennants, and the Cardinals won the 2016 World Series. Remember, David Eckstein was the MVP of that World Series, the 4-game sweep on my birthday in 2016 over the Detroit Tigers. Jocketty was also named Executive of the Year in 2000. Remember, he was the one who found Albert Pujols out of nowhere, among others. So he won the Executive of the Year award in 2000, 2004, won the award a 3rd time in 2010 as the GM of the Cincinnati Reds. They had a real veteran-laced team that year and were able to make the playoffs 3 times. The Reds did under his watch. He also most recently served as the Reds' executive assistant to the CEO since 2016. That season marked 50 years in professional baseball. He was only 74 years old. So he'll be dearly missed. His brain was really, really one of the good ones out there. Whew. And I know for Cardinal fans, it really hurts because with him and the folks before running the Birds, they always had a Cardinal way. But it might be fitting. Jocketty passes away, and the Cardinal way is gone. It's just weird how baseball has that. He was just a huge part in building up the St. Louis Cardinals and Cincinnati Reds to a lower point. And just a big loss there for fans who remember those years from the Reds and Cardinals. All right. Have to mention this on Sunday. I believe it was Sunday. Kevin Gossman, you know him as a starter for the Toronto Blue Jays. Well, he had a Sunday to forget. Let me get the day up here. But he just had a Sunday to forget, basically, at Yankee Stadium. He gave up, 6 earned runs. Maybe one of the worst days ever you could have. He also had a 53-pitch inning against the Yankees. Just amazing to think what happened. Well, he was ejected walking, in the dugout toward the stairs, and then he fell down the stairs, yelling at the umpire. So not only did he not last long, I don't think he even made it past the 3rd inning in his start. But just the unfortunate thing for Kevin Gossman, just really, really unfortunate. Some other notes that came out during the week. The Jose Altuve. Okay, this one trips me out. Remember, I think one of the first episodes we did this year, or I did, was Jose Altuve playing in left field, a new position for him. Well, he's asked out of the leadoff spot in the Astros lineup because he said he needs to get more time to get to the dugout from left field. What? I find it to be really soft, or maybe he just has little legs. I don't know. But it never stopped Ichiro from doing what he did. Think about that. He's one of the best leadoff hitters ever. Ricky Henderson played left field with no problem leading off. Maybe it's a new pitch clock in between innings. Was it 2 minutes? I think it is. The pitcher warms up. You also have an extra 30 seconds when there's a walk-up song. And then you have until, from 15 to 7? 18 to 7 seconds to be ready in the box. Maybe he's not used to running that far because he used to play second base. I don't know what it is. Maybe getting all the equipment on, the shin guard, the elbow guard, his helmet, the batting gloves. It's a whole chore. This isn't, 50 years ago where, just the helmet and your bat. Now, and even you see it in Little League. And this all just sounds Little League to me anyway, but where the kids have, the oven mitt in the back pocket, all the equipment, all the new bats that cost like $500 plus. Just crazy to me. But Altuve looking a little soft there with the excuse saying that he needs more time to get to the dugout from left field because he can't get accumulated quicker to leading off. Anyway, some serious news, though, came out Wednesday night out of Pittsburgh at PNC Park. And I wanted to show this, but I wasn't sure to show it because it was very graphic. And any image, too. I don't want to get HITI in trouble, whatever, right? But a 22-year-old fan named Kevin Markwood fell and fractured his skull from the Clemente wall in right field at the Pirate game against the Cubs. That wall, of course, 21 feet in the air. I don't even want to give you the visual, but just imagine he's at the front row. The Pirates just get a RBI double, or McCutchen just got a double. He's there at second base, and all of a sudden, and this is what's crazy about years ago to now, is that there's camera phones that capture anything happening at any time. So all of a sudden, that fan named Kevin Markwood tumbles over, and gravity forces him to do 3 flips going down, and lands on his skull, motionless. He's in the hospital still and in critical condition. A friend also jumped down from the lower wall in right center field. They have the high wall and then the low wall. He somehow got down to the low wall and got down to the warning track where his friend was laying there motionless to check how he was. He got on the phone to call family members. It looked like the Cub trainers were the first ones on the scene from what I saw. And then the first responders, hopped over the wall and then carted him off the field there. So you always wonder why, first responders are there at games. This is it for situations just like this. And it's just haunting to even think about. Again, the fan was carted off. There was what I call, a silent but somber applause, where it's just full of nervousness, really, when you think about it. His girlfriend was also sitting next to him, and I just imagine how she was feeling about all this. Both sides players were kneeling, praying, and just sat in awe by what just happened. I mean, it's unfathomable what I saw. And you can find out on X, Instagram. I don't know if YouTube has it. They just have the TV footage where they didn't really show what happened, of course, but they showed the wide view from the press box, and you barely see someone out there in right field. And then all the players' emotions really were coming out. McCutchen there, just on his knee. All the, players in the dugout. It was just wild. This reminds me, of course, of the 2 times that fans fell from a railing at whatever they called it, Rangers Ballpark in Arlington, America Quest Field in Arlington. But it reminded me of the 2 times. And it was in the 2010s. So we remember, of course, the fan who was a firefighter trying to catch a ball that Josh Hamilton threw up in left field. And the fan had the lower rail there in Arlington, and he fell over, and it was a big drop because it was a tunnel for players to get to the dugout, or from the dugout to the bullpen. And he died, and they had a statue out there, and it was just a really somber note there. And then a few years later, down the right field line, there was a fan who fell from the second level and down to the seats below. And that was a big fall too. And now you notice not only, the years that the Rangers stayed at the old ballpark, they had higher railings. But Fernando can attest to this. At the newer ballpark, was it Globe Life Field? I think it's called a Globe Life Park. They have higher railings now because of those two incidents. And you have to think in Pittsburgh now, will they put higher railings up? What's going to be the case? I think the main question is, how could have this been prevented? That's the worst question, but it's the question that you need to have. And man, just think about if he passes away, the fan was just there enjoying, Andrew McCutcheon double. And I don't know if this will ever come out, but will they talk about the fan's alcohol level, his blood level? And, will they talk about that and say that's the reason why he fell over and was not in the right mind and lost his balance? Will they have higher railings there at PNC Park? All these things, was he overserved? Was he not in his mind frame? It's all these things now that ushers, security guards, first responders at the games have to really have to look out for. I can tell you this, for me personally, when you sit up in the 400 level, there is a railing there. The bars are old at Angel Stadium. I don't ever remember someone, falling over. So I don't know if it will have ever happen in Anaheim, but I think everybody's on high alert. I just thought about it. The two times at the cookie cutter stadiums in the 90s I saw, I think when home runs happened in Cincinnati and at Candlestick, so Riverfront and Candlestick, there were a couple of fans who fell from, a second level outfield seats and fell down to, whatever platform or basically the ground, basically, because it was, where football seats are, but football seats are taken out, so you're landing right on the, on the concrete or whatever. I don't know what happened to those folks, but that was always haunting to see when I was little. Also, I think there's a video on YouTube, also at Riverfront Stadium, I want to say, there was a foul ball that went back to, I want to say, the second level at Riverfront Stadium. And this fan luckily pulled himself back up from hanging from the railing. And the railing literally is like this. It's not like this. The old ones were like this. But luckily he had the muscle, he had the strength to get back up. You could just tell that, evolution has made things safer at ballparks. But again, I wonder if alcohol really had something to do with it. That had Kelvin Markwood, unfortunately, have that happen to him. So I want to know your thoughts on the on that incident in Pittsburgh. That was awful. Also on Wednesday, getting back to the game on the field, I should say. But this time on Wednesday, also the Royals and Rays got to experience what it would be like to play under a full ABS system. That's, of course, remember what they tried, the automatic ball and strike system that they tried in spring training this year. Because umpire Nick Lentz called a perfect game. And this is just the third time that a perfect game was called since the umpire scorecards began tracking balls and strikes. There was a perfectly good called game with Lentz accurately calling 129 taken pitches. The other two perfect games were called by now fired Pat Harburg because, of course, he had the betting issue that happened to him. I think we talked about that. But he had a perfect game in the 2022 World Series, and Mark Rippinger had a perfect game on April 10th that was also a Royals game. So there's been two perfect games called by umpires this year. And, of course, that one in 2022 in the umpire scorecards system. And you can find them on X, by the way. It's a really good tracker. I mean, it seems like nightly they have those out there. And if you think that your team got hosed, they'll have it right then and there for you. So if there's someone to follow on there, it's definitely umpire scorecards. All right, let's go to Thursday. So yesterday, Jose Ramirez became the first Cleveland player to steal 250 bases and hit 250 home runs. He stole second base at a rainy Progressive Field in Cleveland in the 10th inning and later came home to score to walk off the Minnesota Twins. Looked like a getaway day in Cleveland. But Jose Ramirez, I love the guy. He's very underrated, I think. A lot of people, maybe because of the team he plays for. I just love him because he punched Tim Anderson too. But he's always a good mic'd up segment. He had one where he was, telling Freddie Freeman, "You might be good, but I'm better," just as a joke, of course. But great personality. Don't want to fight him. And he puts up huge numbers for a Cleveland team that really needs it. He's just one of those guys you really want to root for. And if you pitch him, you have to be really, really careful. That's for certain. All right, so that was the week in stories there. Unfortunately, the game comes with injuries. The game of baseball, it's all over the place. But if you don't know by now, Mike Trout exited Wednesday's 9-3 loss in Seattle after jamming his surgically repaired left knee on a sprint to first base. Thursday night, he was and what's weird was right after the game, the news came out. He was placed on the 10-day IL with a bone bruise on that left knee that, again, he had repaired last year. It seems like he'll never catch a break. He'll never play a season without some issues. And it's just really, really unfortunate. And he'll never be the same again. I mean, he hasn't been. But now it's to a point he's untradeable, even if he weighs his claws. Won't get much for him. And it's amazing to see the downfall of Mike Trout. I I mean, I don't know if people will talk about it here on this network, but a good detailed video would be really good to see his downfall since 2021. Just really hasn't played many games since then. Each year, last year he was out by June. He tried to come back. Emery got hurt down in Salt Lake City, and he was never the same. The Yankees have had some injury news. Jazz Chisholm had a, and he's done this too before, where he swung and missed, or this time he hit a foul ball, but he felt something when he swung in his side. But this time it was lower, and they thought it was a flank issue. So basically the ass. But they said it later. Aaron Boone came out to say it was a right oblique issue, and I believe he'll be day to day. But Giancarlo Stanton is the main news of the Yankees. He was officially put on the 60-day IL on Thursday. The Yankees claimed Brian De La Cruz off waivers from Atlanta. They put him in the minors, but may call him up. Brian De La Cruz, of course, is a former Miami Marlin. But Stanton, remember talking about him with both elbows needing surgery. Just a weird swing. I heard that he was using a different bat, and I wonder if it was a torpedo bat in the offseason that just messed with his arms. I don't know, but the fact that both elbows need surgery, and I'm putting it out there, I don't know if he'll hit this season. The Yankees, even though they're doing well, they're scoring 5 runs a game. It could come down to not scoring enough when needed. But their defense has been okay. The bullpen's been shaky. The starters have their own injury issues, but the Yankees still there. We'll check in the standings where they are, but something to look out for if they're busy at the deadline. JD Martinez is still out there. I know GM for the day, Rob, he always mentions him. In LA, let's talk about the Dodgers. So I think they have 9 starters injured. Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow are now out longer. More than the 15-day IL that was originated. There was news about Glasnow, of course, changing his motion, his arm motion. And it got to a point where it strained him this year. And they tried doing different things to him and for him, but it only made it worse, it seemed like. So he'll be out for a while along with Blake Snell. But never doubt that the Dodgers actually have, all the farm system, all the reasons they can go out and trade for someone. All right, so there's more Dodger news. Yikes. Shohei Ohtani became a new father, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, so congrats to him and his wife. There's questions, though, if he should give up pitching. He's already had 2 Tommy John surgeries, and if he tears his UCL again, it might be time to just have him as a full-time $700 million DH. I always mention 3 to 5 years from now, he's got to make that decision to give up pitching and be a hitter. That decision might come, this season or next season. You just never know. The only pitcher that I could think of to get through 2 Tommy John surgeries and still be pitching well is Nathan Eovaldi. Remember, he threw a complete game shutout in Cincinnati this year. It just seems like Ohtani has some setbacks even this season trying to get going remember in spring training, it was back and forth with Shohei. And it's still up in the air when he'll make his pitching debut this season. So we'll continue to monitor that, or at least I will. But he can hit all he wants. But the Dodgers paid him for being a two-way player, and see what happens out of that. All right. So one thought I had last week. Should MLB, I should say, not but should MLB have an in-season tournament like the NBA does? National Basketball Association, of course, has that earlier in their season where they have a little tournament. It's a whole little thing. I almost said big thing. But they go to Vegas and have the semifinals and then the championship. You get a trophy, you get a bonus, whatever. But I was thinking to myself, would it give teams like the Rockies, the Angels, the Pirates, and the Marlins a chance to win something early in the season, knowing that they're not going to compete? I guess you can throw the A's into that as well. Whomever's bad, you could just throw into that. But would it help the game? Would it hurt the game? People say the schedule's too long enough. Would this in-season tournament, would it help MLB, the popularity? Or do you think it'd be a waste of time? Who knows? Before we get to the standings, I do want to talk quickly about Bobby Witt Jr. Of the Royals. He has a 22-game hitting streak going, and they swept the Rays this week. So we'll check out the standings right now, pretty soon, because it was amazing to see Bobby Witt Jr. Again, he's my MVP for this year, or at least my pick. Also got to mention about the Marlins and the disparity between the payroll gap. So the Dodgers are at $476 million. The Florida Marlins or Miami Marlins are at $69 million, and they played earlier this week, and there was a game in which they led 15-2. The Dodgers did, and Kike Hernandez went out there and pitched the ninth inning against Miami, and he wore this pitcher helmet that covers the ears, the front, and the other ear, I should say. But it was interesting to see. I think he was doing, all the motions that all the Dodger pitchers do. Also, I do want to mention, let's see, what was it? Oh, the Washington Nationals, for all you dog lovers. They did a fireworks show, I think it was Friday, last Saturday, the same night as Pups in the Park. Now, from what I know, dogs, cats, whatever, they hate fireworks. So I thought it was odd timing there that the Nationals did that the same time. They even had a warning on the scoreboard saying, hey, you should leave right now because the fireworks show is going to start soon if your dogs don't like it. Whatever. There was an Oklahoma Sooners baseball commit that threw a 21 strikeout game, a no-hit performance. That's just amazing to me. He struck out everyone. Literally perfect. Just amazing. His name is Hunter Watson. So look out for him, maybe in the draft pretty soon or down the line. Maybe he'll go to college. Well, he'll try Oklahoma, I guess, but we'll see where it ends up. There was also an issue, what was this, on Wednesday as well? A Washington National member during batting practice at Philadelphia collapsed. They attended to him, and it was just a terrible situation. Hopefully, they'll be fine. But again, a lot happened in the MLB. Some good, but a lot. Some bad, I should say. There was also a former D3 athlete who made his major league debut, and he's 5'6". Keep this in mind. Caleb Durbin overcame the odds. He made his major league debut coming from Division III Wash University. So Washington University. He posted 2 hits and scored a run in his first big league game. That card will be something because he has that patch. It says MLB debut. But he was acquired in that Devin Williams, Nestor Cortez trade in the offseason. So it was just a great moment for Durbin, and we'll see if he ends up, doing well. He's number 21 for Milwaukee. All right, so let's get to the standings real quick before we get out of here. Of course, we're talking about after Thursday night, starting the American League West. Seattle's in first place at 18-12. They lead Houston by 2 games and the Athletics by 2 games. Texas is at 500 at 16-16, and the Angels. Remember when they were 9-5? Somebody said they would be 19-10. What? They're 12-18. 6 games out of first place already. I think the A's are kind of a surprise. I think I mentioned that. I said the A's will probably be a surprise. They'll maybe contend, but they're 17-15. I think that's pretty solid for them. In the AL East, you have the Yankees at 18-13. They lead the Red Sox by 2 games. Toronto is 15-16 in third place, 3 games out of first. Toronto 17-14, 4 games out. And in Baltimore, maybe the most disappointing team, at least in the American League, they're 12-18 as well. And they are in last place, 5.5 out of first place. Detroit, they keep rolling. They're 20-12 in first place. They lead the Guardians by 1.5 games. The Royals are 3 games back of first place. They're 17-15, though. Feels like last year, where those 3 are competing. Then you have the other 2. Minnesota is 13-19. They're a whole 7 games back. And then the White Sox, who debuted some new City Connect uniforms, and they look like they're based on the Chicago Bulls. They have the red with the pinstripes and the black sleeves, but they're 8-23, but 23 losses. They're 11.5 out already in the Central. In the NL East, the New York Mets have proved me wrong. They're 21-11. They lead the Phillies by 3.5. The Phillies are 17-14. The Braves, with all their issues, are 14-16. They're 6 games out. And one thing I didn't mention because I wasn't here last week, but Ronald Acuna Jr. mentioned that he would have been benched if he did what Jared Kelenic did, which he didn't run a fly ball out. And he mentioned Acuna did on X, and that just stirred up the Braves X world and the dugout probably. Brian Snicker might be on the hot seat there with the Braves. We'll see if that's the case. But Washington at 14-18, they're in 4th place, 7 out, and then Miami at 12-18, 8 games out. In the NL Central, the Cubs have pretty much led the whole way. They're 19-13. They lead the Cincinnati Reds, who are a wonderful surprise at 17-15. They're 2 behind Chicago. Milwaukee 3 games out at 500 at 16-16. St. Louis at 14-18, 5 out. And you have the Pirates at 12-20, 7 games out, first place. Of course, I mentioned, the Pirates, but the talk about them, of course, was Paul Skeens, I think a couple of weekends ago, started a game, and his bobblehead was there. And there was a line that went all the way into the city because it went on the Roberto Clemente Bridge to get into PNC Park. You have to walk through there if you're coming from the city. And just imagine a whole line to get your bobblehead, and you pitch that day. You lose to the Dodgers. I think it was 3-0. He was just pissed about that. Not because of the bobblehead. He was just pissed that he didn't get run support. And they're already saying, hey, trade Paul Skeens. He doesn't need this. He's not even a year in. Or, yeah, he is, because he's a rookie of the year last year. But, man, it's just a lot of bad for the Pirates right now. The Dodgers, they're first place, 21-10 in the NL West. The Padres are 19-11, 1.5 out of first place. They'll meet in June, a 2-game series in the middle of June, or before the middle. The Giants are 19-13, 2.5 out. Now they're a big surprise of the NL because they're doing so well. Holy, he's hitting a lot of home runs. He's been a great surprise for them. He had the back injury last year, but he's doing well this year. They also have Wilmer Flores, who surprisingly hit a lot of home runs this year as well. But Chapman and Adames has not done well. They're free agent signings from these few years, but their starting pitching has done well. So Giants continue to surprise people. Arizona 17-14. They're 4 games out of first place. And Colorado, even though they've won 2 games in a row, they are 6-25 and 2-8 in their last 10. 6-25. Remember, we had the White Sox last year go 40-120, the worst modern record of all time. We might get 2 teams that break or even that record from last year for fertility, with the Rockies and the White Sox. So look out for that. Look out for fertility at your local ballpark. Wow. So we went around the league. Thank you to the sponsors. There's, those 4 there that you'll see in the video. Please check out HITI and all the shows. Everybody does wonderful shows here. Running out of time, but I don't want to mention them all because I'll have a brain aneurysm. So, all right. So watch all the programs. Follow us on all the social medias. We'll see you next time on Around the League. Thank you for watching episode 8.
Brought to you by 714 Tickets in Anaheim, your trusted source for Angels tickets at unbeatable prices with no hidden fees. Whether it's home or away, they've got your seat covered. Visit them at 2424 East Catella Avenue, Anaheim, or online at 714tickets.com. Mention HITI and get 10% off your purchase. And Brewheim, Anaheim's premier craft brewery, pouring fresh, locally brewed beers in a welcoming atmosphere for Angels fans and beer lovers alike. Stop by their tap room at 1931 East Wright Circle, Anaheim, or check them out at brewheim.com. Mention HITI and get 10% off your tab. The OC Dugout, your one-stop shop for officially licensed Angels memorabilia, custom jersey framing, and exclusive autograph signings with your favorite players. Visit them at 1928 East Center Street, Anaheim, or online at theocdugout.com. Support the businesses that support Halos in the Infield.